All right, good afternoon, everyone. So hopefully I'm going to end today with a big bang. And that's not me hitting the stage, hopefully. So from 21 days to seconds. Today I'm going to be talking about a case study. The story of a real-life payroll transformation. So as Eric mentioned, during the conference last year, we launched Cintra Groups. What I'm about to tell you is truly astonishing. A partnership was forged between Cintra Groups and Arcus, a leading facilities management company with over 4,500 employees. Burdened with a manual process, paper documents, photographs of timesheets, and a payroll process not operating to its full potential. You're going to hear about what we discovered, the transformation, and the end result. I'm also happy to say that Arcus are in the room today, so I just want to raise your arms, don't be embarrassed. Go on. They have been absolutely amazing. Forerunners, basically they've been forerunners. They've opened up their business. They signed up to the early adopters program last year and embraced Cintra Groups. So, what did we do? So, good question. So, working closely with their HR team, their payroll team, and their managers, we took a deep dive into their payroll process. So we actually got under the hood to figure out how their business was working and to really understand the payroll process from the point of basically receiving the data to where it was entered into the payroll. Based on our thorough investigation, we identified many areas where Cintra Groups could help their business. So you definitely won't be able to read this, so don't worry, I don't want you squinting at this. But basically, this diagram shows the number of touch points within the organisation before a change was made. And what we can see here is we can see the employee, to the in-store manager, to the area manager, to the admin team, and also the payroll team. And all the way through that process, you can see basically data going backwards and forwards. This is where data was received and entered into a spreadsheet. And you can see it going backwards and forwards, and that is where data was entered into the payroll. So that is a 2 to 3 week lead time from the point of receiving that data to it being entered into the payroll system. The process now has completely changed. And again, working with Arcus, so spending a lot of time with their team, we devised a new process. So now enter Cintra Groups. So what you can see here is we've still got the same number of swim lanes or same number of departments from your employee to your in-store manager to your area manager to your, and so on. But the pivotal difference with this is the manager receives the data and enters it straight into Cintra Groups. And what that means is managers now have the ability to perform a gross to net calculation. They can see immediately what the cost is for their area of the business. They can answer employee queries, so taking stress away from the likes of the payroll team. And they can also check rates of pay to make sure employees are paid correctly. So imagine a workforce of 4,500 employees. How do you check everyone's paid correctly? And that's empowering the managers. Okay. So true transformation. And also, what this means is you've got the admin team and the payroll team. They've got immediate input of that data. So as soon as the manager enters it in the system, there's visibility across the whole of the business. 21 days to seconds. The manager logs into Cintra Groups, enters the data, and performs the gross to net calculation. no longer a need to wait for 21 days before they see that end result and the impact on their business area. This now takes seconds. It takes them the time to log in and enter that data. So now armed with Cintra Groups, managers and the business can make decisions faster. They have more time to check input and make sure everything is okay before paying out. But how did we achieve this? How did we transform Arcus's payroll? We took a phased approach. So we didn't go big bang because that could have been disastrous, but what we did was we focused on one area. We had basically an area manager who was jumping up and down to be part of the first pilot group. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 100 employees, the first manager. And basically they were really happy with the pilot. So the pilot was very successful. Through December to March this year, we rolled it out to the remaining areas. And that second pilot, from what I heard from, again, speaking with Arcus, there was area managers trading £50 notes to be second within the pilot. But with a few months of hard work, we've rolled out the whole soft services department, overseen by 17 managers, over 300 stores, and 2,000 employees. Through the first pilots, one of the managers saw an immediate time saving. 5 hours. 5 hours that they saved that they could use to do their day-to-day role instead of entering data into the payroll. And that figure there is truly transformational for a single manager. But with further tweaks to the process and also using Cintra Groups, Arcus saving 5,890 hours per year. I mean, that figure is obviously just mind-blowing. You know, through adopting Cintra Groups, making changes to the process and how they work, time saving of 5,890 hours. Just imagine what you can do with all that time. It's incomprehensible. And that also relates to a 15% time saving for their business. So if you imagine 3 people out of every 20 saved. 5,890. I'm going to go through some of the results. So through adopting Cintra Groups, the team saw improved productivity. So managers became proactive instead of reactive. They embraced their technology. They wanted to use it. They wanted to log in and actually enter payroll data into the system and check everything, field employee queries. Real-time visibility of data. So the ability to enter those payments and perform a gross net calculation. As we've mentioned, we can't find a competitor on the market that can actually do what this product does at the moment. So we believe it is truly unique in the marketplace. And in terms of a way business works, it's truly revolutionary. It's enhanced the operational effectiveness of companies that use it, especially the likes of Arcus, and also increased the accuracy of data. So again, imagine a workforce where you've got hundreds, thousands of employees. How do you know they're paid correctly? 9 times out of 10, it's the managers that employ those people that know what their salaries are, the correct rates of pay. So it's devolving that access to the people that obviously know what's going on. This has also contributed to higher employee satisfaction, so less stress from the managers. They don't have to spend 5 hours a month keying data in. Those 5 hours they can spend working within the stores, speaking with their employees, and also improving the business as a whole. significant time savings. Like I just mentioned, 5,890 hours. And also cost reductions as well. So not only through the likes of the time saving, but tying in with Seb's presentation, waste and errors, the ability to make sure that rates of pay are correct, so you're not overpaying employees. So cost saving there. And the thing is with the cost saving, if you've got basically a huge payroll, so if you're talking a couple of £1 million per month, even 0.5% is over, I think it's around £150,000 per year in cost savings. I'm going to touch on some of the feedback that the managers provided us with. So there's a few statements on here. Absolutely fantastic. They loved it. Easy to use. They can see the hours in money. So before entering the data into timesheets, they could see basically the number of hours, but that didn't equate to the monetary amounts. So this also helped them field the employee queries. How much am I going to be paid this month? Yeah, have you put my overtime in? That's all there in real time for them to see. And from the payroll team. So real-time access allows the manager to check rates before paying. And I just mentioned there around basically checking that the rates pay are correct to mitigate the risk of overpayments. Because 9 times out of 10, if an employee is overpaid, are they going to tell you? So it mitigates those sort of risks. And again, touch on managers being changed from being reactive to proactive, the visibility of data, and also from the payroll side as well. There are controls in place where once a manager has completed their inputs, they can submit it, and then the payroll team can actually see which groups have been submitted. So if they need to chase those managers up, they know exactly who to chase because their payroll is still open. Okay, so that was basically a truly transformational process for the likes of Arcus by adopting Cintra Groups and also opening their company. And like I said, they've been absolutely amazing through the process. So adopting a new way of thinking, being completely open as well. So I had the ability to talk to the payroll team, the HR team. They even opened the door up to all their area managers as well. So I basically asked, can I have a call with such and such? They're like, yeah, let's have a discussion. And still working with them now. So even though we've got the 5,890 hours saved, I believe there's more time that we can get saved for Arcus. And it's also a new way of thinking as well. We also have another customer. I can't mention their name because they haven't obviously given us authorization, but I'm going through the same process with them as well. So last week, adopting the lean payroll that Seb spoke about, I've been analysing their payroll process to understand how they work at the moment, basically what the touch points are in their business. And for one of their managers, and this is the report I'll give them to the last week, we predict an immediate time saving for one manager of 4 hours a month by adopting basically Cintra Groups and changing a little bit of their process. So again, truly transformational product. We believe it's unique in the marketplace and an innovative solution. If you do want to know more, we have got the Cintra Groups brochure, and there are also some QR codes on the tables as well. So if you scan in one of those QR codes, you can then basically click on this brochure. It has also got information about groups, and it's got a section in here with the Arcus case study. So some of the points that I've discussed today are within the brochure. So feel free to grab a copy. Okay. And if you've got any questions, I think you can spot me in the crowd. So yeah, just come out and grab me, and I'm more than happy to speak to anyone. Okay. Thank you very much.